Okay, and testing my audio. Starting this off just a smidge early just to make sure everything is working properly. Okay, there we go. Now my audio is working. And I'm just going to wait a moment until, just give it a few minutes for people to kind of join in. Thankfully, this is all looking good. What is with them other tarot cards, I wonder? I put those cards somewhere and I don't. I'll think about it. I'll find it later. Here, make sure, was that sent out? Making sure this is over here. Sorry, you all are gonna have to look at crusty. Well, I just took my nails off. I took them off a while ago, but I haven't really filed them and cleaned them up like I should. So hopefully this foil will help it a little bit because, yeah, they look a little bad. I really need to clean up my cuticles, but whatever. That's another day problem. Okay. Hopefully that oil helps though. Hopefully it doesn't exaggerate it on the camera because they look in rough shape. I'll tell you that right now. I don't have a subject for this, but that's because I'm just going into this kind of like on the fly because I just recently seen she announced this whole thing for her album. So, you know, when you looking back on this, I'll have a description and I'll try to not make it as obvious, you know, so obvious what came out in the reading. So I'll try to do that. Make sure this post was out. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just gonna give it like 5 minutes just to make sure before I start. So if you get in before the 5-minute mark, yes, I'm still here. I'm just trying to give it a moment for people to kind of come in and join in before I just get into this. In the meantime, if you do have a question that you want to drop down in the comment section or in the chat, do so and I will try to get to it in this reading. But it has to pertain to this reading. I don't want it to be something like you asking a love life question because that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, which is Cardi B. So give it just a few more seconds and then I'll start. Okay, let's see here. Am I forgetting anything else? No, I think that's everything. Make sure my camera is cleaned off. Sorry, it's gonna get a little black. Okay, I just want to make sure my camera is cleaned off so it's not picking up on specks or looking through oil and it look blurry the rest of the reading. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And as you come in, as you join in, if you do have something you want to ask about the album, I will try my best to get to the question. But if I don't, you can always drop it down in the comment section later if you're watching this on replay, and I will try to get to it then. But as you see the title, you see the thumbnail, you know today we are going to be doing a reading on Cardi B, because she has finally announced that she will be dropping her newest album. I think it's aptly called Am I the Problem? She was dropping hints earlier this week or last week with the crows and everything. So hence why I have the crows and everything in the thumbnail and in the picture, just in case if you didn't know. Because it's something, I guess the theme is going to be very dark, very heavy. I also kind of want to say maybe also leaning intuitively, because when I think of ravens, I also think of, like, you know, Odin. I think of God's messengers. I kind of think of, you know, all seeing, delivering. So maybe there's something spiritual in this too, but that could just be me overreaching, but maybe not, because, you know, she is a alleged Santeria girly. So, you know, I find it hard to believe that ravens is something that lean heavily in that culture as well, or in that theology. So yeah, but I want to see what can we expect out of this. I know one of the biggest questions is people wondering, like, how many albums she's going to sell, was kind of like the content that's going to be on here. Is she really actually going to drop it this time, or is she just pulling everyone's leg? I'm inclined to believe that it seems like it's really ramping up. She's really going to drop this because she seems to be in a better place now. She's no longer with Offset. You know, she seems to be in a relationship that makes her happy. I don't like him, but, you know, he ain't my man, so it don't matter. She seems to be, like, in a happier space in life. She seems to be doing more creatively. She seems to be having some changes at Atlantic Records with her team, who, you know, seems like it's some people that's actually pushing her and, like, encouraging her to do something and not just kind of, like, be laissez-faire. So yeah, I'm inclined to believe that she's really gonna have the album dropping, but let's see. That's what this tarot reading is for. And what else? Oh, and of course, some people think that there's going to be some diss lines on this too. I don't know if I'm going to pick up on that in this. You know, it depends on kind of like what comes out with the cards, but I'm going to try to dig into that and see what's in all that we get in regards to Cardi B's upcoming album. So with all of that being said, I hope you are buckled in, you have your tea, you got your seat, you're ready, you're comfortable, and we're going to get into this reading. But before I do, let me issue a few disclaimers. As usual, all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. And no, I'm not just saying that to protect myself legally. It is all alleged because, as I often tell you and remind you, think of me as like a spiritual translator. There are some things that I may mistranslate or may not adequately relay to you all. And it could be misconstrued, or I'm picking up on it incorrectly, and it's those little nuances that may just go underneath the radar and won't be properly explained, and then we'll have issues. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you believe 50% of what I say, 25%, 100% of what I say, great, fine, and dandy, but make sure you are exercising your power of discernment. And I don't mean that in just this space here today, I mean in your everyday life. But I highly encourage it during these readings, okay? So now that I have issued those disclaimers, not just for legal reasons, but to encourage you to actually tap in, I will get started on this reading. And first things first, we're just going to tap into the energy of this album, because I don't want to do a Cardi B energy reading. I have had enough of that. I want to see what's going on with this album. So let's see what we're going to get here. Okay, that's a whole lot that wanted to fall out. 4 cards here. Just to take note, we do have this 7 of blues. I think she would have wished for maybe a different timing. There's something else I think she kind of wants for this project. We do have the 10 of Jazz or the 10 of Wands cards here. And to me, that's, you know, finally a burden being lifted and you carrying it on through. We do also have the Ace of Axes. I think there is some songs on here. And I think she has also said this publicly, at least on Instagram, from what I heard, is that there is some, I feel like there is some songs on here that it kind of gives me a Summer Walker vibe. Like, you remember, or if you were around at the time when Summer Walker dropped, was it Still Over It? And it was like certain songs she said she couldn't even perform because it just took her back to another place. I wonder if that's some of the stuff that's going to come up here. But I think there's also things here, like she said, there's certain songs and things on this album that she's not like over the moon about, but they made the cut due to her label. And then we also have the Aeon, and to me that is just speaking pure creative juices. I think she is probably feeling more ecstatic to drop this because of, maybe, I'm thinking it's more so the team that she's working with now. So let's see if this all is supposed to stick. As you see, I'm going to mix these up in here in different spots, and we're going to see what we get. Let's tap into the energy spirit. Sophomore album energy. Okay, and we have a lot that still wants to come out here. Oh, this is in reverse. Ooh, Lord. 3 of Blues. That made me just think of heartbreak songs. She has a 10 of Blues and stuff with her divorce or her family. She also has the 4 of Roots. What is the financial restraint she didn't have during this whole thing? Or maybe she didn't have funding for something that she wanted. Maybe like, maybe there's a smaller budget for like the videos or something like that. We also have the 2 of Axes. There was a hard decision or a choice being made. And then we have the Knight of Jazz. Something creatively, she is like, I don't know, she was stuck on or not working through. It's kind of giving SZA. And people who know SZA, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. Okay, here we go. Finally, okay. Yeah, see, it's something, oh, maybe that's Offset. King of Jazz, King of Wands, that's that fiery cheat man energy. Ooh, not the Sun in reverse. Just one more card, Spirit. Let's see. And I don't know if this was upright or not. I kind of flipped it. I don't remember how I kind of jumped out. But we also have the Ace of Roots. What's the underlying? The 5 of Roots. So the 5 of Roots in this particular deck, the Rhythm and Soul, is discs, it's coins. So this could be materialistic. It could be the financing, the money that's coming through. I'm going to stick to something with the budget is not where she wanted it to be. I do think with this Ace of Roots, I think she is going to have some semblance of success or like with sales here because of the Ace of Roots. I think because people are just like so just what's the word, just they are so I don't want to say excited, but they are nosy. I'm gonna just say nosy. People are really nosy to see like what tea is she going to spill in this, like what's going to be this project, especially since she has gone so long. It's been what, 7-8 years? It's almost been a decade since she dropped her last album. So I do think she's going to find some success when it comes to sales. This King of Jazz here, I don't know if this is referring to her or if this is referring to like the succubus energy she was just dealing with Offset. If some of that is going to be in there, it's just going to be some like you know, I hate men hear me roar kind of content, which I doubt because, again, she's in a nice relationship. But who's to say some of these songs were created when she was in that space of like, I can't stand men, and, you know, she was going through all those troubling issues with Offset. So that's what the King of Jazz is making me think of. The sun, I'm not sure why the sun is showing up here, but I will note that the sun card is pointing to a record store. So I wonder if she's going to have something where people, it could be something of people not buying a lot of maybe physical copies, but maybe it's more digital. I'm going to come back to that one. The other underlying energy, we got that Three of Blues again. And to me, again, this is, I kind of feel like it's pointing out the infidelities that's been going on in her relationship. And then we also have the Nine of Blues coming up in reverse. So yeah, something again about the timing or the music or something with the rollout, maybe something not being right with the budget quite what she wants, because the Five of Roots is kind of like the beggar's card. It's, you know, things kind of being tied up, you not having as much money as you probably thought. I think there's something tied up with the budget, and I really think it's probably something with like maybe the videos or something, like if she has a concert or something, maybe the budget isn't quite gonna be what she wants. And I think that's some of the issues that she's gonna experience with this album. Let's dive in more to why this sun card is coming up. I need one more card for this sun card. I want an explanation for why this is coming up exactly. What do we have here? King of Blues. I'm gonna lean into right now with this King of Blues being here. It just kind of makes me feel like she wasn't in the right emotional space when she was creating this. So I think the album kind of bring up negative energy for her because it's taking her back to a time that she would rather forget. I'm wondering if that's why this one part is here, which would make sense with this King of Jazz, aka the King of Wands, if that is dealing with, you know, her failed marriage essentially, or her, you know, falling out with Offset. That would make sense. But I think it's going to benefit her again in the end with this Ace of Roots. I think it's going to bring forth some good opportunities. King of Blues, King of Cups, you know, it just speaks to me like there's some emotional kind of like depletion, sadness with this. Ascendant outlook, worldview, mission statement, expression, role, likeness, impact, first impressions. Okay, let's focus in please on this King of Wands, this King of Jazz. Why is this King of Jazz, King of Wands here for the album? Okay, so I have two cards and I'm going to count them. That Ascendant is meant to come up. Okay, Ascendant with the King of Wands. Is this her self-confidence? Because this, so on Ascendant, I don't know if it's going to really show up clear for you all. It speaks to outer self, point of view, body image. I wonder if that's in... I wonder if it's a twofold thing. If it's something dealing with like her body image or a certain way she don't want people to kind of look at her now after seeing this. But I feel like, Cardi, we've seen all of the ugly because you and your husband have put it out there on the internet. People have been paying attention. So I'm not understanding where the kind of like the embarrassment or shyness is coming from. Or maybe it's just the case of like, you know, I would have rather people not have seen me like that. But the Ascendant outlook is here as well. And then we also have Aquarius, the innovator. Experimental, electric, radical, eccentric, diverse, futuristic. Is she gonna get a little different on this one? I feel like her first album was very like eclectic. You know, she did what do they call it? She tapped into reggaeton, she tapped into R&B, she did the hip hop, she did the rap. What else is she doing there? I don't think she did rock. She might have something rockish on this album, maybe. Or maybe it's experimenting with some of the artists that she will have on the album here as well. let's see here what the sun. Look at this. The 10th house, reputation is coming up. And complexity irritates, puzzles, mystifies, complicates, contradicts, clashes, educates, makes curious, transforms. There's a sense of like, I want to hide under a rock. I don't want, it feels like there's some songs that she wanted to have removed, but people or her team, her label, whatever the case may be, was like, no, that needs to go on this album. Like, get it. You're probably embarrassed about it. You don't like it. You're probably afraid of how it's going to make you look. But I think you need to add these songs to the album. I feel like there's something that's coming up here. Why is this Ace of Fruits here? Cardi B. Ooh, I'm glad I caught that. That would have been a deck of cards on the floor. Okay, so I had 3 that slid out here. They're all coming up in reverse. Challenge. Pressure, demand, struggles. Is she kind of going to get over it because it's going to be received, at least from her fans, in a good light? Combines her strengths, joins forces. I'm a little stuck on why these are coming up in reverse. Because we have conjunction, which is dealing with empowerment, but it's coming up in reverse. The square challenge card and then in reverse, and we also have the Mars action card. Is it just because of the delay? Or is there going to be critiques about the content of the album, but people are still going to want the raunchiness anyway? Or the other thing could be, maybe I'm misinterpreting this Ace of Roots, because what I feel like I'm getting now is like, the reason why she's so dissatisfied with this is because now it feels like it's a rush to put the album out when she wished she probably could have had more time, because now she's in a better place creatively, maybe emotionally, physically, to kind of like deal with things. She would have rather create out of this energy that she's in, instead of them pushing and rushing this album out from a space she was in previously, where it was like, because, you know, for financial reasons, they're like, we can't hold this anymore. And now she's like, y'all trying to put out all this old stuff that I don't really feel. I don't like it. I'm embarrassed by it. It's trash. I want to throw it out. I wonder, is that why the Ace of Roots is here? Because that's what was confusing me, and where I was getting these other cards where it's saying like it's a challenge, and it's like all this negative energy around this materialistic energy that's supposed to be coming up for her album. But maybe it's because she's kind of like being forced to put this out because of her label. Sun Studios. Atlantic Records. Is that what it is? Maybe I was misinterpreting this. I see, Bresdow, you are definitely a Cardi B fan. Definitely would like to see what's going to be coming up for this. Okay, this is what popped out. Uranus revolution. Notes, it did come up in reverse, but I'm turning it upright so I can read this without struggling. So breakthroughs, brainstorming, originality, insight, awakening, reform, freedom, rupture, edge, diversity, humanitarianism, experimentation, the unexpected. I don't know, y'all. This is kind of making me think that Because here we look. We have the moon, feelings. Something about this album, I feel like it's either it's one or two ways for me. It's really bringing up some negative memories and emotions, energy for Cardi, and she would have rather like scrapped it or interspersed it with like some of the more vibrational songs, or the songs that she likes more, or she was really feeling here, because it's something about this she not feeling, or maybe the public isn't going to be feeling. You know, I have to remember I'm tapping into the energy for her album. And then we also have 8th house, intimacy. And this is dealing with sex, erotic, secrets, mysteries, obsessions, inheritance, stalking, the underworld. You know, this is some dark energy on top of the feelings here as well. 9th house, seeking, again, reverse. Beliefs, spiritual quests, aspirations, journalism, risk taking. I wonder, is she gonna get some negative press about, like, I'm just gonna say it. I wonder if she's gonna get some negative press around, you know how a lot of people say, Megan don't change her flow, Megan don't change her beat, she sounds the same. I wonder if some people are gonna have kind of like this similar, or along that same vein, people are gonna have the same critiques about her. Like, you had us wait 7 or 8 years for this new album to come out, and it sounds like this could have came out right after Invasions of Privacy. It seems like there was no growth overall in the music. I wonder, is that something, a critique she's going to hear? And then the sun also came up in reverse. Notice this is the second time we have the sun card coming up in reverse. Second time, you all. And it's speaking to creativity, masculinity, childishness, ego, solitude, expression, heartbeat, fatherhood energy. We also have her north node is now coming up in this too, and it also came up in reverse. Something about this does not bring fulfillment. I feel like that's coming through loud and clear for me. Sitting here reading this energy, but I think they're kind of like, nope, let's get this over and done with. What additional energies can we tap into here, Spirit, for Cardi's album? I did have an explosion of cards, but I'm just gonna throw them back in my hand because they all fell on the floor too. See, look at this. I keep getting like an explosion of cards that's wanting to come out. Something important, a new job or raise, advice from a friend, slowly but surely getting ahead, great good fortune, position of authority, celebration. You are on the road to success. Let's see if these are supposed to come back out. I'm going to kind of just mix those in there like so. Here we go. Now we're getting the cards. Now we're getting the cards. Only got 4. Okay, can I get 2 more, Spirit? And they flipped right over, right in my hand. So these are going to come out here at the end. These are some of the first ones. So we have Camel, persevere and you will overcome your problems. Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. Again, to me, this is kind of in comparison. Ooh, July. Is she dropping in July? Do anybody know? Or is she gonna have another song come out in July? But again, anybody who's like a SZA fan, which I am, so I understand. We can all mourn together. You know how people waited a long time between, what was that album? Oh my God. I see it with her sitting on the ground and it's got like the TVs and stuff, and I cannot think of it. Was it Control? I think that was Control. Like how people waited between Control and SOS, and then it was all this back and forth about she's leaving, or she wasn't going to put out this, or she was going to do this or do that, or kind of like the long wait people had between SOS and Lana. It kind of feels like that's along that same vibe, that same energy, whereas like SZA, girl, just drop the music. Like, we want to hear it. People are ready to eat this up, and you aren't. And you keep playing, and you keep playing in people's faces, and now we tired. And then we also have teardrops, great personal sorrow. I think there's no surprise because, again, I think it comes as no surprise that she is going to have some, I think she's going to have some impactful songs created out of her low vibrational coupling with Offset. That's the best way I could put it right now. And then we also have Wishbone, a wish being granted. We have Parrot. That's funny, we're getting a wish being granted here, but maybe that is the studio, because when we first were pulling cards in the Rhythm and Soul deck, remember I got the 9 of Cups in reverse last time, and that's usually like the wish fulfillment card. So with it coming up in reverse, it usually to me feels like no, wish not being fulfilled, something not happening. But then we have someone would gossip about all your secrets. Yeah, her. Well, great worry over nothing. And that's what I think it is. This camel and this whale to me is like, you're worried and you're trying to make it, you getting in your own way because you're getting in your head about this, when you need to just create, just drop it, just do it. Because the people who gonna mess with you are gonna mess with you, and the people who don't won't. And it's just gonna be what it is. Like, stop trying to be, I kind of want to say, like, stop trying to be like commercialized or commercially successful, and just like drop the music, do creatively what you want to do, and stop letting people kind of get in the way of your creativity as well. It's like, just, girl, don't do what you're gonna do. Let's see if we can hone in on kind of like what the public's response will be to this. And again, I'm going to mix these up in here. You know what? I need to write this timestamp down as I go, because I will definitely forget as I start like pulling cards. And I would say roughly at what, 10 minutes in, I started the Cardi B portion. I would say about that. Yeah. Let me write those down before I forget. Okay, let's see. What is going to be the public's reception? Cardi B sophomore album. What's going to be? Oh, we have the page of roots here. It did come out to the side, so let's see. Yeah, it explains it to me. It's going to be some hesitancy there. I think people are going to be waiting for like, basically like the YouTube commentators or like the blogs and stuff to kind of like give them feedback or like tell them what to think about the album before they actually listen to it and give it a fair chance. It kind of feels like reviews are going to play a heavy part in people wanting to listen to this album, at least according to this page of roots to me. But let's see what else we're going to get here. Okay, that Aeon is coming up again. And then these two cards here, the King of Blues, aka the King of Cups, is coming up again. And this time the Ace of Roots is coming up in reverse. Interesting, interesting. I do want to refer to the book for this Aeon, because I feel like there's something about this one I'm missing. This is a deck I don't use too often, and it's the newer one too. So let's see here. I know Aeon is towards the back. Oh, yeah, I'm right. This is dealing with new life, last judgment, crossover, rebirth, paradigm shift, and generation. So you all can see that. So you all can read the book with me. Interesting, interesting. Again, this is kind of, to me, this is feels like it's referring back to the energy I was getting last time, where it's like creatively, energetically, she was just in a different space, and there's certain things that she would have rather scrapped from the album or had thrown on there. And there's certain things in here that's probably not going to provide maybe the best perception, but it is what it is. And you know what? I also forget here that this is the Judgment card. I just realized looking at the number 20. This is the Judgment card, which makes complete sense. And I was saying, and I was alluding to that earlier, of that people are going to, it kind of feels like people are going to wait for the feedback, the commentators, the music listeners, the, you know, those people in music to kind of give them give them insight on whether or not they should listen to this album and whether or not they should spend money on this. Especially with this like page of roots here kind of coming up to the side, and the ace of roots, ace of this, page of this coming up in like these trouble positions, coming up in reverse, kind of like this lack of energy. I don't think people are going to be like probably running out the gate to get it at first, according to this. Yeah, it just kind of feels like people, it's going to be like a wait and see. Like maybe she'll have like a last minute surge of sales. But yeah, the King of Blues being here. Again, something to me just makes it feel like it's very much going to be similar to like Lemonade meets SOS meets Still Not Over It. Like that seems to kind of be the mix that I'm getting. Ooh, I hate when that happens. I try to stop one card and it slides right off my arm onto the floor. Notice we have the edge and the empowerments coming up here. See, look, community. See, that's one of the cards that's coming up. Hope, tribe. It feels like people are they're waiting on the feedback. They're waiting on the people that they look to, that they look to inform them on like how to feel. Looks, join forces, allies, overwhelms, combines with that conjunction, that empowerment. I would say that's probably where your budget need to go, Cardi, making sure people give you good reviews and like honest reviews. Not something where it feels like it's bullcrap and people can't believe it. Judgment, though. Oh. Judgment on her love life. It's something else I'm getting here, but it's kind of just like I don't know if I can say it for YouTube purposes in the manner that I want to say it, but just know it's kind of like I feel like there's gonna be a big discussion along like pick-me's, which, if you all also want to know, I am also going to be doing a reading on B. Simone later on this week as well. So that'll probably be another like gossipy, juicy reading. But we also have the 10th house reputation card here that fell out. 10th house reputation with the King of Blues, the King of Cups, your emotion. It could be a water sign man. I don't know if she has a water sign man in her life. Legacy, patriarchy, empire. You know what? I have to look something up real quick because something just dropped in my head, and I wonder if that is if that has anything to do with this, because yeah, what's coming up here? No, okay. So it's not him. Okay. It was a certain like blogger or streamer that came to mind, and I was like, is he a water sign? But no. Okay. This card here. 8th house intimacy. Girl. You know what? Here's something that I feel like that's coming through. I feel like people are going to be talking more so maybe about the content of the album, like what the inspiration and for the content behind the album is, more so than people are going to be like wanting to have the album, because it's, I don't, something about it makes it feel like almost like it's gimmicky, but it's gonna get people talking. It's gonna have like some memorable lines that people are gonna, you know, be quoting and stuff like that. It may do, you know, well on TikTok for certain little TikTok reels and stuff like that or whatnot. But I don't know if people are just gonna be rushing to be like, oh yeah, this album has like replay value. It kind of feels sensationalized is what I want to say. I don't know what that is I'm picking up on. Okay, and then we have Pluto's transformation, motivation, personal power. See, yeah, something about this makes it feel like people are going to judge her because there was no growth. There was no growth. We have that sun card again. We have Pluto transformation coming in reverse. So it means there isn't anything new under the sun. Okay, and then we also have the moon card. Like, oh, was I holding it all off screen? I don't know. Didn't do that like that. It's just, I feel like she's gonna have a few good quips, or she's gonna have some certain lines or scenarios or songs that it's gonna make people think of certain scenarios in their life or in this bad relationship that they have. But I don't know if people are gonna be like, hey, you know, yeah, you make me feel like this, or you remind me of that horrible time in my life, and they're gonna want to spend money on that. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong, because some people love to be in misery. That ain't none of my business. Yeah. Let's see what's coming up here. What was those two that dropped? I seen it was something about a dark man dealing with a relationship with a dark man. And what does this one carry? Opportunity or a windfall? See, I keep getting conflicting cards. Oh, she's going to make something. Oh, she isn't. But it could just be materialistic stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe she'll gain fans, or she'll make a lot of money, like advertisement wise. Like, it's going to be good advertisement content. But I don't know. Some materialistic is not adding up here with the materialism, the financing or whatever of this album. Something is just not lining up for me, because I keep getting like some cards some of the discs is coming up okay, and some of them isn't. So I'm saying, hey, you know, she's gonna make a lot of money, and then some of it isn't. What is this? Hand in need of help, assistance, and guidance. We also have the Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. We have Cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Interesting, Cobweb. Sorry. Sorry for that book that fell. Then we have Basket, recognition, reward for merit. Speaking of Summer Walker, I'm thinking of this song. How did it go? I know it go, we reached the ceiling. Yes, I did. I've got a feeling. This must be the ending. Yeah. That's a song that just came to my mind. Oh, Family Matters. Okay, Kendrick. And then we have Broken Ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. Is she gonna get dropped from Atlantic? I mean, again, Broken Ring could just be alluding to her marriage. We gonna get a lot of stuff about her marriage. is people gonna call her out about that too? Because, you know, that's something I've seen buzzing and circulating online of people saying, like, she told us the playbook she was going to do for when she rolled out her new album, that she was going to do Lemonade-esque type of situation. She was going to divorce her husband. She was going to have all these problems. She was going to make a bunch of heartbreak songs, and she was going to sell her album. But I don't know if maybe there's something with the timing. People are just kind of like, we know all of this. We want to see something different. You told us all of this. We seen all of this. We seen it play out. It's not like it's that big of a revelation like it was with Beyonce and Jay-Z, because like nobody would ever think, oh, Jay-Z would cheat on Beyonce, or anybody would cheat on Beyonce, you know? It had been rumored for years, you know, if you were in certain circles, it was rumored for years that he was cheating on her, aka Beyonce. I'm just so we know, but it wasn't like she ever came out in any interviews or he came out and said anything. You know, it was rumored around people that was around them. It never came from the horse's mouth until Beyonce made Lemonade. You and Offset, you know, Cardi B and Offset has been online exchanging comments to each other, going off on each other in videos. We've heard about them getting divorced, what, 2 or 3 times, at least in my knowledge. I don't know, some people may have heard more. It's like, it's not really that surprising. So you made people wait all this time when you been knew it was a problem and an issue in your marriage 3 years in, 2 years in. Hell, the first year. I don't think it's gonna be something that's gonna energize people to want to be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. She hasn't set herself up to be like the heartbreak rapper. She's not like the Drake, you know. It's not like she's like the SZA or the Summer Walker of heartbreak music or heartbreak raps or anything like that. It's not, because this is only her second album as long as she's been out. Look, they're King of Jazz. What is this? We just getting any additional information at this point. Because this is what wants to come out. Who is this Page of Roots? What is this Page of Roots? Because it's coming out again. Let's see, any additional, this wanted to come out, any last messages here? Just going to shuffle through these and see what else wants to come out. A two-faced friend. I don't know about a two-faced friend, but I do think a two-faced man. I don't, seeing that cat card made me think of a two-faced man, not a two-faced friend. Ain't no way a man that say he love you treat you like that and do you dirty. Disappointment in some affair. Again, that 5 of Roots card, that 5 of Disc card is coming out again. I think again, the 5 of Roots and this Page of Roots make me feel like something ain't kosher when it comes to the budget of this album, or something is not at the level that she wants with this album. What was this blues? The 2 of Blues? Oh, 2 of Cups? Oh, that makes sense. That makes absolute sense. This is about Offset. Is that why she don't want this? It's about Offset. King of Jazz, King of Wands, the death. Something that ended not in a best way. Something that went sideways. The 2 of Blues is essentially up there with like the Lover's card, 4 of Wands card, matrimony, matching, partnership, you know, meeting somebody on the other end. You have the King of Jazz coming up here in reverse. To me, that is a man who cannot control his pants, okay? He landing low and spraying and rides, okay? So this is about Offset. I wonder also if this Five of Roots and this Page of Roots is here is because I wonder if there is a disturbance. Maybe it's not so much with the budget of her album, but I wonder if there's also something here with kind of just like the opportunities and the financial gain that she kind of missed out on because she was too busy messing around with this man. Her man, her man, her man. You have the challenge card coming up in reverse as well. This is tension. This is sounding the alarm. This is hurt, frustrations, struggles. Is Offset a Sagittarius? Is he a Sag? I don't think he was, right? I don't think he is. Hold on. Hold on, please hold. I gotta see something. Is he a Sag? What is his astrology? I said zodiac sign, bro. Why is not showing it? Offset is a Woods. Yeah, he is a Sag. I kind of understand, Cardi, why you probably didn't want this out. It's all about this man, and you don't want it nothing about him. You don't want it to be something he could potentially come back and try to make money on. And I wonder if that's another thing, because I think they're going through a divorce right now. He is filing for spousal support. So I wonder if there's something here where she wants the album to do well, but at the same time, she probably don't want it to do well, because then it's just going to give him another reason to be like, this is why I can claim spousal support, because she's making all this money. Like, she's obviously making more than me. So I wonder if that's something else that's coming up here. That's Sag. Ugh. Happy-go-lucky. Yes, he is. Risk-taking. Yep. Self-righteous. We also have a complexity here, which is dealing with irritation, clashes, contradiction. What? It's about that man. She don't want it to be about that man, but it's about that man. She wanted to just get away from him, and like, oh, someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. The Wedge card. And let's see what else we get here. The last two cards. Sorry, I picked this one up. Time to Act. Maybe that's why she's finally trying to drop this album. Allegedly. I know her label isn't going to like it. But I wonder, even though she is not satisfied with how this project is being rolled out and what's being on it, I wonder if she's also aiming for it to tank, because again, of this whole divorce thing that she's going through with Offset and not wanting to pay him spousal support. I don't know if her new man is younger than her, but we do also have dealings with a younger man here. I believe Offset is older than her, or they're around the same age. I don't know if the other guy, is his last name Diggs? I don't know if his if he's younger than her, but something here about a younger man is popping up too. Yeah, the what made me lead to that stray thought that I had though was this Lion card, Time to Act. Yes, this feel rushed. It's not what she wants. She's not emotionally connected to it. She would rather for it to be different. It came out earlier or later or under better circumstances. But I wonder if she's just like, I'm ready to kind of just part with it and let it be what it is. And move on to the next thing. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting for this reading for Cardi B. I don't know. This seems kind of like all over the place, and I don't know if it's because just picking up on her emotions, but this just kind of seems all over the place. But I'm really wondering what this Five of Roots and this Page of Roots keep alluding to with her album. With like, I really think it's probably something to do with the budgeting of this album. I will be. Or maybe it does really well and she has to pay a whole lot of spousal support. I don't know. I don't want to wish that on her, but I'm just throwing it out there because there's a couple of different ways that could be dealing with it. But yeah. All I'm going to say is about time, Cardi. Can't wait to see what this album is. I'll at least give it a one playthrough once it drops. And because look, underlying card, will get back to the basics. Dealings or a relationship with the older woman. Perception, Cancer, that Chiron healing. All of this is just the Fool, King of Roots, Knight of Blues. Like, it's something emotionally just not adding up with this album. All right, I'm done. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. If you were new here, just stepping in with this reading, make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to all so you can see the next time I upload. If you are returning or watching the replay here because you are just an avid watcher, I thank you so much. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. Let's discuss it. And yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to be coming up out of this album. What's going to be the public opinion, and what's some of the interviews, hopefully, that she will be doing during for the rollout of this album. So yeah, this is LotusMaje Divination. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.